It says live.
We are live.
Oh, well,
We are live.
welcome to the after party.
Yeah, this is just, look, man.
After the party, it's the after party.
We had a dope show tonight. We had a dope show, off the cuff.
Right.
I mean, Lady Frida was dope. How you kept it 100 about, what I'm saying, how we really deal with issues, man, and trying to with the issues that we deal with. We got to kind of just make sure that we have the tools that we need to help deal with emotions in these conversations that we need to have. You know what I'm saying? So
And it's important. Hear me. It is very important the person that you choose to spend your life with. Because when you're going through silent relationship struggles or silent struggles inside, you need that person that you can count on. That's going to be that safe place for you to bring your stuff to.
Yeah.
I think I have that.
So the question is, how do you have the conversation, the hard conversations, when emotions are involved?
Babe, we talking about the after party though. We talking.
I know. You gonna direct my conversation? My question is,
snap.
how can we have the hard conversation when emotions are involved?
Like I said, you gotta come to a place of bringing the emotions from a heightened place. But so you gotta get wisdom first. That's what I had to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
I had to say, okay, God. I said it inside a lot of times. Okay, God, I need your help with this one. And he came through in the clutch every single time because it will help me to figure out. Because first of all, you have to have the desire. I had the desire to want to be heard and received instead of just being heard and spout out what I had to say just to get it off my chest. That doesn't work.
And let's be
But
honest, it takes a level of trust as well. You
it
have to
does.
be able to trust that when I bring myself, because that's what you're doing. You're bringing yourself, the openness of you. You've been vulnerable. So I got to trust that when I bring myself to this person, that they won't tear me down, that they won't hurt me even more
Right.
than I'm already hurting.
So how do you develop that trust? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? Where does that begin? Because that is true. That's the key. But where does that begin? Like, how do you develop that?
It begins with a friendship. You got to have it. You got to have that level of friendship. I trust God number one. I
Mm-hmm.
don't trust people, not even me, but I trust God to be able to say I trust his plan for whatever it is we're going through.
That's the key.
That's the
Mhm.
key.
I believe that's the key. Because man will fail, but Jesus Christ
He the
never
man with
fails.
the master
And
plan,
if you
baby.
get, and if you're able to, he said, cast all your cares on me. Why? Because I care for you.
I'll do it so you won't have to.
So yeah. So the thing is, we have to really trust our emotions, our feelings, the things that are hard with God.
Right.
We have to trust them with
And
God.
that's why I gave that analogy of that cup, that glass in the show. Listen, if you want to hear on the way to work, this is just a little commercial. If you on the way to work, you want to hear the podcast from today, from Tuesday's Shift Real Talk, go to Apple Podcasts. That's where you'll find all of welcome back. That's where you'll find all the podcasts that we discuss. You'll get some good information. Build them healthy relationships. But that's the bottom line. I gotta be able to trust you.
You gotta be.
Mhm.
I gotta be able to trust God's plan and that He gave it to you so you can lead me right. So that when I have issues, I know that I can go to you because God already say I gave you the opportunity to see that flaw because I knew you was gonna do the right thing with it, which is come to me. Y'all have a conversation about what I'm going through. Come back to me with what God shared with you to help to get the healing process started within me because God uses people.
And here's the funny thing, like, let's be honest, everybody's on a different level of maturity with God and their walk
Yeah,
with God. So it has to take a level of selflessness as well, right? And
yeah,
what I mean by selflessness is also having compassion. So if I come to my friend, if I come to my spouse, come to whoever I'm in a relationship with, and I'm trusting you to hear me and to be there for me, and you don't give it to me the way I think I need it, I can't immediately take offense and be like, I am never coming to you again.
Right.
I have to give enough a selflessness to say, I'm gonna give you that um, room for error. And let me explain to you what I needed in this moment. Let me show you what I needed, not what you thought I needed, but let me explain to you what I needed. Because let's be honest, we're still learning each other. And
Yeah.
it's the learning each other never stops. And why do I say that? Because people think, oh, but if you've been married 30 years, you should know each other. No, we're ever changing. And I mean
Ever
ever changing.
Yeah.
So what I may be good with today, 5 years down the line, as I matured, may not be as relevant to me or as important to me.
Right.
So as I'm changing and I'm learning myself, how can I expect whoever I'm in a relationship with to say, I know you 100%? That's not
Right.
fair because I'm still learning
Yeah.
myself.
That's true.
Really.
That's true.
You are learning. Yeah, that is so true.
So the podcast today, we got like real heated toward the end because it was that thing of, look, Pastor Jay said, why should I have to deal with somebody else's emotions? Because if you care about me and you see something I don't see, that I'm actually going through or how I'm dealing with something, then I expect that you would be able to help me through that moment. And not, I'm not saying be responsible for my feelings, because yes, I'm responsible for the way I feel. But sometimes when stuff gets stirred up on the inside and you get triggered and things happen and make you feel things you haven't felt in a long time and you thought you was good with it, if you're the person, whether it's you, Zania, you my
Mm,
girl, you my chick, so you may see some things that I'm going through because you're close to me, and you should be able to see it, not take offense to it necessarily,
mm,
but let's change the perspective. Let's relate. Let's have that relationship where you can say, oh wait, free dealing with something, and instead of trying to figure out what it is, ask. Okay,
mhm,
so what triggered you? I should be able to have the right to say, you know what, I really don't know. And then
mm.
what the next thing should be is, okay, well, let's try to figure it out.
Yeah.
I remember a relationship that I was in the
Hmm.
past, and there was something that I did that triggered her from her past relationship,
Hmm.
and she responded. She responded by shutting down,
Right.
and I was like, "Well, what's wrong?" And she didn't say anything, and I was like, "Wait a minute, hold on. I just met you, and you dealing, and you already there's already from day one." She
Hmm.
said, "Well, I'm not used to working out." She said, "You coming to me to work out a problem, and I'm not used to that. The last relationship that I
The
was in,
last relationship.
I usually shut down because the conversation would get nowhere."
Mm.
So I was like, "Well, you bring in that emotion into a whole nother situation. I'm not him." So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the reason why is like, why should I have to deal with your emotion? That's not fair to me.
It is.
You're not you. How's it fair?
Because you care for me and you're in relationship with me.
Yeah, but the
So
only
if you
way.
see that there's a flaw, then be that person
Okay,
to care
okay, wait a
enough to
minute.
say,
Hold
let
on.
me help you
Oh,
with that.
wait a minute. Hold on. Now I feel what you're saying, but here's the thing. If you see, that's why I said communication has to go on.
Hmm.
So if you're feeling a certain way, then express. Okay, listen. Right now, I don't know how to deal with such. So now, what you're doing is inviting me in to help you deal with this emotion.
Right.
But
Okay.
if you just have me dealing with your emotions,
Right.
that's not fair.
I feel you.
No, have the conversation.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm dealing with something right now. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know.
I really
That's
don't even know what I'm
Yeah,
feeling
I
right
don't know
now.
what I'm feeling right now with this. Okay, cool. Now I know
But
how
it's,
to.
yeah, it's not against
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
You said something that
Yeah,
may
yeah,
have
that
caused
may
me to
have
feel something, but
exactly,
it's not your fault that I feel it, because
exactly,
it's already something that's in me.
exactly.
Right. So,
That's what I'm saying.
right.
Don't. So it's not fair for me to deal with the emotion, But if you inviting me in to help you deal with the emotion, then we can deal with this together.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking
I
about.
like that. Invite me in.
Invite me in.
Yeah.
That's not fair. You just get an attitude and what's wrong?
Tag me in, coach.
You know,
tag me in.
That's not fair.
I still think that's maturity though, because sometimes, and I'm gonna say for myself, I have found in the past where I caught the attitude and I didn't even know why I was having an attitude.
Right.
And so when my husband asked me, like, what did I do? I couldn't say, you didn't, I was like, you did nothing. So then why you have an attitude with me? I don't know why I'm annoyed though. And I had to literally take myself to God because he couldn't figure out why I was annoyed. I didn't know why I was annoyed, but something had really triggered me. And I had to go pray about it. Like, God, what was that? And God had to show me, why I was triggered by the situation. And then, of course, I had to go back and apologize. But it was his responsibility, even though it was unfair. I would never say it was fair. Even though it was unfair, he did have to help me unpack it. Because something about our interaction triggered that emotion.
That's true, but you still had the conversation and said, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Or you didn't just
expect him to automatically.
You didn't expect him to automatically know that something was going on with you. So there still was a level of communication that went on that allowed him to still say, okay, whatever you're going through, let me allow you to go through that.
And so that's what we need to do in relationships too. That's another tool. Allow the process to happen. Allow me to go and process what it is I'm dealing with so we can come back and possibly get some resolve from it.
Well, the thing, like I said, is truly about dealing with stuff. Some of us, like I said, the emotion takes over the actual situation. And because we don't deal with the situation, we deal with the emotion more than the situation. So, and that's why I said that's a place of being unfair. And even in maturity, you know what I'm saying? If there's something that you're dealing with that I believe in that time, especially when it's somebody else, express that. Listen, you reminded me of my ex. What you just said is something that they would say and it triggered me. Cool. I'm not your ex, but listen, let me know, what is it that I said so that I know for the next time that I'll be mindful of me saying.
And everybody's not that understanding to say, if you say you remind me of my ex, that triggers them.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said from the very beginning, you have to be careful and be very intentional about what you know that this person is going to bring to the connection you have with them in the relationship. If this person can't handle disagreements, if they shut down, if they always on a fence, if all of that's happening, it's over with. It's over with. It's not going to be something that will be healthy. And that's the whole point.
Absolutely.
Here on Shift Real Talk, y'all, we're talking about building healthy relationships. Getting to the place of maturity so that you can real talk about it.
But that's this after party, y'all. We coming in.
After party.
That's the after party. Coming in with some tools. Right. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? Always. We love you guys. And we Shift Real Talk.
Yes.
And y'all got something y'all want to close out on?
No, I think that was it. I think Lady Free wrapped that up.
I wrapped it up like a present on Christmas.
With the bow?
With the bow.
No, 4th of July. Present on 4th of July.
Yeah, we celebrate our anniversary on July the 2nd. So, hey, 9 years in. So we basically know about what it is to real talk in relationships. So let's rock it out. We'll see you on next Tuesday. Don't forget, log on to our YouTube channel and listen to the podcast as you're riding in to work on Apple Podcasts, Red Circle, all the platforms for podcast audio. Let's get it.
Yeah, so don't forget, y'all, come back so we can have some real shift talk.
That's right.
We're going to talk that shift.
That's right.
We talk a lot of shift. because we can back it up.
It is. All right, y'all.
Okay.
And we out of here.
We
Until
out of
next
here.
time.